What's up and welcome to the Sam Dracula channel, a Charlotte Hornets fan channel. And man, it's playing time once again. Hornets, Hawks, Wednesday night, win or go home. You know, we went through it last year in the worst way. Can they avenge last year's issues? Can they fix last year's issues? Can they fix this year's issues with the consistency we've seen from this team from quarter to quarter? You know, a lot is left to be kind of determined, and it all comes to a head tomorrow night, and I'm very excited about it. From a confidence level point of view, if I'm saying like 1, least confident, 10, most confident, I'm gonna put my personal confidence that we will win the game somewhere between like 6 and 7. So let's call it 6.5. It may be a little high, but I think we win. Spoiler alert, I think we win the game. But what I need to happen is for this team to compete for 4 quarters. I need them to come out ready to go and sustain that throughout the game. They can win this game. This is a winnable matchup. This is a favorable matchup for the Hornets. It could be worse. They just beat the Hawks. The record's exactly the same, right? They've won at each other's home court already. Like, we traded with the Hawks all season, right? We've had awful shooting performances against the Hawks, and then fantastic shooting performances at the Hawks versus the Hawks. It's been such a strange year that it's really difficult to predict, other than like going with your heart as a Hornets fan. But it's win or go home, and Hornets tasted defeat last season in the play-in against the Pacers. I know the Hawks had absolutely nothing to do with that. They actually had a fantastic run last year. They're with us now in the play-in, and it's up to the Hornets to answer the call, and I think they will. Addressing last year, Hayward wasn't playing. He won't be playing this year. That's a push, all right? LaMelo Ball is healthy. He was not 100% last year. He was a shell of his former self, his pre-injury self. With that right wrist injury, his shooting tanked when he came back from that injury. He's much better this year overall, plus he's healthy. That's 2 small wins combined to 1 big win. Miles Bridges is better. We have Harold this year. We have Isaiah Thomas this year. We have Kelly Oubre this year. We'll see what happens with those guys, though. I don't know how they'll be used, but they're in the mix. Those are veterans that weren't on the team last year that we can rely on this year. Right? We have more tools in the tool bag this year that we didn't have last season. Cody Martin improved. Jalen McDaniels improved. Terry Rozier is about the same, but Terry's still Terry. At any point, he can go off and hit 4 or 5 buckets in a quarter and really either help us build a lead or get back into a game with the success. Mason Plumlee shooting left-handed free throws. Things are up. This team is better than last year. It's a better place to compete. Hell, even last year, the Hornets went into last year's playing on a 5-game losing streak. This year, they're going into it with a 3-game winning streak. Just those little things I think add up to something bigger that can, you know, makes me feel better about our chances in the play-in. At least for this one. Who knows what happens if the Hornets somehow win and then face Cleveland or the Nets. I have no idea what happens after that. We'll see. I'll make another video about that if and when the time comes. Hornets and Hawks played 4 times this year. They both won twice, both home and away. So there's not even like, you can't even look at, oh man, the Hawks have home court and the Hornets have won there before, and vice versa. So when you look at like going into the play-in, the potential of getting the home court game, I'm not sure if it would even matter, man. We don't know which Hornets team is going to show up, which is what I'm going to talk about here in a second. Let's travel back to November, towards the beginning of the season, when the Hornets and Hawks played for the first time. Hawks won in Atlanta. Also note the records. After this game, the Hornets were 10-8 and the Hawks were 8-9. They had an awful start to the season in Atlanta. The Hornets had a relatively good start to the season, and it's interesting they both ended up in the same place in the standings pretty much. But in this game, Capella went off 20 points, 15 rebounds, 2 blocks. He was a beast, a problem for the Hornets trying to figure things out in the early stages against a big like Capella in only 24 minutes, mind you. Herder with 17 points, Trae Young 19 points, 9 assists. LaMelo almost had a triple-double, 1 rebound shy. Bridges with 35 points on 15 of 28 shooting. Like, the Hornets played relatively well. Atlanta just killed us from an efficiency point of view in this matchup. 52% from the field compared to our 42%, and they shot 35% from 3. We shot 25%. And then the free throw percentage difference, 81% from the free throw line. They made 17 free throws, shot 21. And we had 60%. on 15 attempts. So just levels difference. The Hawks shot the lights out and paid the price for it. Moving forward to December, right? Hawks, Hornets 2. Still in Atlanta, just like that first matchup. This one went very differently, and which is really surprising considering the circumstances. Remember, this is the game where we had no LaMelo, no Terry, no Jalen, and no Mason. And they being the Hornets, went nuts shooting. Just absolutely mental shooting performance from the Hornets in this game. While they're shorthanded, Oubre went off 6 for 10 for 3, right? Bridges 4 of 6. Cody Martin went 3 of 6 from 3. This game, the Hornets shot 46% from 3 compared to the last game, 25% from 3, and they lost. This one, very different, still close, but they handled their business away at Atlanta without 4 massive pieces to the puzzle. And granted, Atlanta still went off. Collins 31 and 12, Trae Young 25 and 15, Herter with 28 points off 7 of 11 from distance. You know, Gallo with 17 points off the bench. Like, they still got theirs. The Hawks still got theirs, but the Hornets outshot them, and that was the difference. Game 1, Hornets went cold, they lost. Game 2, Hornets got hot and won. Game 3, oof. Oh, man. All right, let's get into it. Let's go straight into it. 11% from 3. The Hornets went 4 of 36 from distance in January in a big loss at home against the Hawks. I was at this game, so it's probably my fault. All right. That's my bad. All right. This game is going to be a very short discussion because I don't care who you're playing against. I don't care who's on your team. If you shoot 4 of 36 from 3, you cannot win the game, no matter what. Cody, 1 for 1 from 3. Salute. All right. Bridges 0 for 4. LaMelo 0 for 8. Terry 0 for 6. PJ 2 for 4. Oubre 1 for 9. What the hell? Booknight 0 for 4 in 17 minutes. It was a terrible game, Hornets fans, I don't blame you if you don't remember it because I try to bury it deep down in my memory. So the Hawks go up 2-1 in the season series after this one, and well-deserved because the Hornets had no business being in this game. The fourth and final matchup between the Hawks and the Hornets in Charlotte, Hornets handled their business, right? They made up for the shooting effort from last time, which is kind of, you know, pretty easy to do considering how bad it was from the January matchup. But this time around, defense. This is the lowest point total the Hawks were held to in all 4 matchups. You know, they put the clamps on Trae Young. 9 points for him. Let me pull that up. Where's he at? Yeah, 9 points. They dared the other players on the Hawks to beat him. He got 15 assists as credit, but that speaks to the scheme that the Hornets were throwing at the Hawks. So this game was tied going into the 4th quarter, and James Borrego outcoached Nate McMillan. Plain and simple. He put PJ at the 5, which created mismatches for the Hawks. Basically, PJ was too quick for Capella to keep up with, and he was too big for guys like Bogdanovich to switch onto. And PJ got hot. PJ had an excellent 4th quarter. Melo had an incredible game, 22, 11, and 8. Actually, let me show you that. There you go. Melo, 22, 11, and 8. Miles with 18, 6, and 6. Plumlee had a good game. He had a double-double, 12 points, 10 rebounds. Harrell with 20 points off the bench. Like, everybody got involved in this one. I don't want to get it twisted, but that slight adjustment in the 4th quarter to go small was the difference here. And that could be the key for the play-in. You know, I think the Hornets can match up against the Hawks player for player, but they can maybe exploit this matchup once again, the mismatches once again, and seek out an edge. I'm sure Nate McMillan has watched this game multiple times, has figured out a way to counteract what Borrego did in the 4th quarter, but maybe he didn't. Maybe he can't. But this is the blueprint, right? This is what it's going to take to beat the Hawks. And fortunately, it happened last month. It's not that long ago. Everyone that played in that game is available, right? Like, there's no Hayward. Nick Richards probably out. It's the same squad. On the Hawks side, there's questions about John Collins' availability. He wasn't available in this game. Who knows if he'll be available for this one? So it would be largely a push from like a personnel point of view. But man, like if you're a Hornets fan, if you're a Hawks fan, you gotta be looking at this game. It's like, all right, if you're a Hornets fan, if you're a Hornets player, Hornets staff member, like, all right, this is what we need to replicate to get past the Hawks. If you're a Hawks fan, if you're a player, if you're a member of the coaching staff, you're looking at this game like, oh yeah, this is what we got to fix. And I take comfort knowing that this is the result of their last meeting, and that hopefully can carry over that momentum into this do or die scenario in the play-in, and then get the pleasure of playing the Cavs or the Nets, which is gonna be tough either way. My prediction for the Hornets Hawks play-in game is basically this. I think this matchup from December is where we'll kind of be. I think it's gonna be high scoring. I think the Hornets will struggle to replicate what happened in March, to like fully put the clamps down on Trey and keep the Hawks under 110 points. Like, I think it's gonna be a high scoring game. I think the Hornets overall are shooting the ball really well going into the play-in. I look at the bottom of the rotation guys. Oubre's coming in, playing pretty well in his last game. Jalen's been on a decent tear the last few games, like best shooting we've seen from him since like February. So he's trending upwards. Isaiah Thomas, it looks very comfortable off the bench. So like I have no issue or no like problems, I guess, with the starters. My question is like, can our bench match their bench, which we've seen them like overpower us in that regard before. But if our bench is hitting our shots, we can do this. But I don't think a lot of defense is gonna be played on Wednesday night, and I think whoever shoots the ball best will win. And maybe a little oversimplification, but I think it's gonna be the Hornets. I'm a Hornets fan. I will back the Hornets in the play-in. I think the final score will be somewhere between like 125 to 117, something like that. Charlotte, I think we have too much positive momentum right now, and I think we have something to prove from, you know, what happened last year against the Pacers. How you feeling about the play-in scenario? What's on your mind? Let me know in the comments. Tweet them at me. Sam Dracula on Twitter. Samuel Dracula on Instagram. Let's go Hornets. I'm here for it. I'll be streaming during the play-in, hoping for the best. I got rid of my green screen so I can like pace around my setup here if need be, because when I have my green screen up, I'm pretty boxed in. Be very nervous going into it, but I like our chances. It could be way worse, y'all, but we take those. And hopefully we get the dub. Until next time, thanks so much for watching. Really appreciate it. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share. Leave a comment below, and I'll see you next time. Peace.